If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride, all while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com and get your dragon swag on.
To this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's
Misunderstood. Day after Christmas. This will be the Misunderstood after the day after Christmas. You were so excited to sing along with me, and then you grumbled. I don't know what's going on. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of Misunderstood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver.
Yeah.
Today we are joined by someone who is an actor and a musician and a general...
Probably a teeth model.
No.
It is Patrick Boylan.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Did I say your last name correctly?
Yeah, Boylan.
Boylan.
Like I'm Boylan.
Sometimes I wonder if it...
Like I'm Boylan.
Sometimes I wonder if it rhymes with like Mulan. Like Boylan. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So what's your deal, man?
What do you mean?
Tell us about you.
Me? Tell us about me. Tell you about me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love myths. I do. I grew up listening. So my dad loves to tell stories, right? And he told us bedtime stories every single day before we went to bed, me and my sister.
Wow.
And they were all surrounding Pegasus and his fake lover, Gloria, who I'm assuming was named after my father's love singer-songwriter, Gloria Estefan, back in the 90s.
Whoa.
And so he just like made that character up.
Wait, that was also a horse or that was a human?
It was a horse.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
and me and my sister, young.
She sang that
Caitlin
song,
and
the
Patrick.
like, come and shake your body, let me do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's exactly what we listened to while we were cleaning the house on Sundays.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you just want to boogie while you Swiffer.
Right.
Yeah.
If Swiffers were around back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, he just made up stories about Pegasus and Mount Olympus and Zeus and all the gods. And so he knew a lot about mythology, Greek mythology. And so I learned a little bit from him.
And Gloria Estefan.
And clearly, Gloria Estefan.
I'm wondering, Patrick, suddenly if you and I had a very similar childhood.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Oh yeah, my dad used to tell me bedtime stories that he made up off the top of his head before I went to sleep,
Yeah.
and he introduced me to Greek mythology. And he didn't listen to Gloria Estefan, but he did listen to he had a Bette Midler album.
Bette Midler. That was another one.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we must have had similar.
we might have. Wait, are you my brother?
Long lost brother Paul.
There it is.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. I've accidentally been called Patrick a few times too, because P names just fall into a
I think I've
category.
been called Paul once or twice. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, who is who? Who is who?
Wait,
All right,
where'd
so
you
I'll be
get that
telling the
gun?
story today.
She didn't know which one to shoot.
Yeah.
I have a hole in me now. I guess you shot correctly.
Yeah, I shot the right one.
So Patrick, we are right in the middle of the Aeneid. We just finished book 7
Oh, fantastic.
out of 12.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
And we are
I needed this to end.
Well, you are getting your wish because we are finishing it.
What?
Yeah, we are finishing it
That's
right
how much
now.
garbage is in the last 5 books?
Well, actually, when I was reading and rereading and compiling these notes, I actually feel like if the Aeneid was a trilogy of movies, that this would be like The Return of the King. Like this would be the last home stretch, and it's sort of all nicely encompassed into one big war movie at the end.
Okay.
Do you remember why, Sarah?
The Return of the King?
No, do you remember why The Return of the King? Do you remember why it's a big war fest? Like, do you remember where we left off?
Oh, never. I never do. But it's helpful for a recap for all of our listeners.
Oh,
And me.
thank goodness. Aeneas, it has been foretold that he is going to be the ancestor whose descendants will found Rome.
Okay.
This is a big propaganda piece written by Virgil that's about how Romans are the master race.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And so this is all about Aeneas and his men who leave Troy during the tail end of the Trojan War, and they're looking for the place that will be the founding spot of Rome. And so now where we have left Aeneas, he has made first contact with the Latinians and the Latins of Latium. And the Latinians, though, that sounds like a holiday drink. Sort of. Every time Sarah scowls at me, I second guess myself. I'm like, so yeah, he made first contact. The Turnus, who's the king of Latium, was like, yeah, sure, marry my daughter and start this kingdom. He was fine with it. However, Juno, aka Hera, is so angry at Aeneas because she didn't get a golden apple back at the beginning of the Trojan War and has hated all Trojans ever since.
Mm-hmm.
She incited anger towards all of the Trojans in Latium, and thus now there is a war, a brewing.
All right.
So
Between the king and him?
between the king and I, between Turnus, the king of Latium, or king of the Latins, and Aeneas, leader of the Trojans.
And he's going to marry his daughter, though?
Yeah. So Lavinia is Turnus's daughter. She is such a non-character. She is.
Whoa,
she
really?
is just like a prize to be won.
Well, that's
Come
unfortunate.
on. That's
Um,
typical.
There
Typical
is
ancient Rome.
there is a really great female character.
Everything before 2005.
There is a really great female character though that you have to look forward to in this chapter, and that is Camilla.
Camilla?
Camilla is bae.
Okay, good.
So when we
Great.
get there, remember that.
Okay,
So
Camilla is Bay.
Mhm.
Got it.
write that down.
So while King Turnus gathers his forces, Aeneas readies the Trojan troops and asks for support from the nearby cities in Latium. Still, he's troubled at his prospects in battle. That night, he decides to consult with the river god Tiberinus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tiber was a river.
Yeah, he's god of the Tiber River,
Yeah,
which flows
awesome.
through Rome. And he confronts Tiberinus. He says, Tiberinus, river god, I need your help.
Bloop, 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 bloop. River me.
Did I catch you in the middle of a bath?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm always taking a bath because I'm always wet.
I'm gonna need help against the Latins. Can you help me find help?
Well, you help me and I'll help you. There's a spot I can't reach.
Okay.
It's my anus.
Oh, all right. I just put this loofah here then.
Yep, all the way up.
All the way up.
Whoa.
Oh boy. So after he fists Tiberinus, he suggests that he forms an alliance with the Arcadians, who are also at war with the Latins, which is like pretty easy. It's like, oh, you know those guys that are also fighting your enemy? Bridge an alliance.
Mhm.
There you go. So Aeneas takes 2 ships and rows for several days up the Tiber.
Oh, yeah, right up here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Make yourself at home.
With a loofah.
To the forest of the Arcadians. There, the Trojans address the Arcadian king Evander, who,
Great name.
yeah, what a wonderful name, who gladly offers his aid against their common enemy and invites Aeneas to a feast because they love a
Oh, my
feast.
God. How many days?
Is
Me-
the feast?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they last forever.
Awesome.
I wish.
That's how I like feasts.
I mean, so.
Meanwhile, Aeneas's mother, Venus, is fretting about the upcoming war, and so she knocks on the door of her husband, Vulcan. Vulcan!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What can I do for you?
I didn't catch you in the middle of forging, did I?
No. We just stop it. Yeah. All right. We're good.
Okay, great. Well, fire back up the forges because I need you to make my baby boy Aeneas, some new weapons and armor that'll give him an added advantage.
All right, honey. You got it.
Thank you. And you're so sweet for doing this, even though he's not your son.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So Vulcan agrees, and he says, "Get to work, Cyclopses!"
Get to work, Cyclopses.
And they make this armor and stuff for him. Back in Arcadia, King Evander assigns what troops he can spare to Aeneas's command. He also says, hey, all these other lesser kingdoms, they're going to come to your aid too. You're going to have a great big army. And then finally, he wants his son. It's like time for his son, his beautiful youth of a son, to come and engage in battle for the first time. And his son's name is Pallas, Prince Pallas.
Oh,
Who does he have a son with?
Evander?
Oh, this is Evander. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, not Aeneas.
Evander and his wife, Holyfield. I don't know what Evander's wife's name is.
Goodbye.
But he brings in his son, Prince Pallas. Prince Pallas!
Woohoo! Hello.
This is my son. Aeneas, will you please teach Pallas the arts of war and return him home safely? Please, pretty please.
Please, will you teach me how to sword fight and to punch and to kill him good
If I can.
and teach me how to kiss?
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, yeah. And granted, sort of like Patroclus and Achilles here, Aeneas goes above and beyond with his emotions towards Prince Pallas. So there's a little bit of that going on. This new army that he forms with King Evander, they march all day and they camp at night. And at night, Venus suddenly appears with Aeneas, appears to Aeneas, and she's carrying all of the new things that her husband Vulcan made for him.
Jesus Christ! No one, I'm the goddess of beauty, not the goddess of carrying all this shit.
Oh,
Anyone want to fucking help me get a door?
Mom.
Oh, thank you.
Let me help you with that. I didn't know you were
that's
coming.
nice.
It's
Okay,
so
you didn't
short notice.
hear me
Oh my
open the
gosh.
trunk.
Yeah. Is that a new SUV?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's sort of a gas guzzler. Sorry, I don't. All right, come on in.
Because I will take these swords back.
Okay. So the arms that Vulcan has completed, it's a beautiful helmet, a corselet, a sword.
That's gonna help with your gut, hon. 'Cause
You keep baking holiday treats for me.
Well, did I say you had to eat them all in one sitting, sweetheart?
I was so hungry that one time I ate my table. It was a bread. It was a piece of bread, a hard piece of bread. But
That's not a table then.
I called it a table, though.
Oh, you're so pretty, but so dumb. Just like me.
Sword, spear, and shield. All of them were beautifully crafted and stronger than metal forged by humans, so he's got an advantage. The face of the shield was particularly noble, for on it, Vulcan depicted the story of Roman glory that awaited Italy. So it's a big, spoiler alert, shield for Aeneas. It has, on the shield, he sees his descendant Romulus being nursed by the she-wolf. It shows the defeat of the Gauls, and it also shows Caesar Augustus defeating Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium.
There's a lot on this shield.
Yeah, it's busy.
That's a busy shield, man.
I personally think it's tacky, but your stepfather thought it was best.
Meanwhile, never one to miss an opportunity. Juno is hanging out back on Mount Olympus, and she calls in her messenger Iris. Iris!
Yeah.
Iris. So Aeneas, that little fuckboy, he is not at his Trojan camp. He's hanging out with his new army. This is the perfect time for Turnus to attack them. So go down there and tell Turnus that.
You got it. I will.
And bring me back a pot pie.
Okay.
And so Iris flies down on her rainbow, and she goes over to Turnus, and she says, hey, the Trojans are particularly vulnerable to attack. So Turnus is like, yep, okay, time to go. I'm gonna kill them all. So he and his army ride towards where the Trojans are, where they're camped out. And when he's riding around this camp, he's like, oh, I don't know how to get in. That door looks pretty shut. So
idiot.
Instead, he looks back to the shore and he's like, well, I guess we could burn all these ships. And so almost inspired by the Trojan women a couple episodes back where they burned all the ships. Like maybe the Trojan women were probably like, oh yeah, we'll help.
Well, yeah, a woman does it first, but he probably did it louder.
Well, and so when this fleet's destruction, like, and Virgil really amps it up, like, oh, he's going to lose all his ships here. It doesn't work. And what happens is, so there's this goddess Cybele who doesn't really have a Greek equivalent. What were we going to say?
Sibilance?
Sibley, Sibley wonderful.
Okay, there you go.
That's why I hesitated. I didn't need it. No one needed it.
So her Greek counterpart is Rhea, but she's also sort of Gaia, and she's also sort of Demeter. She has aspects of because a lot of things got Gaia.
There you go.
Wonderful.
That's what we call her now.
Yeah. So Gaia, who's the mother of the gods and the sister to Saturn, requested that her son Jupiter render the vessels immortal because they were all built from trees in her sacred forest.
Okay.
News to me. Less. I think Virgil was probably like, and then they'll burn the ships. Oh, but I can't burn the ships. What am I going to do? Okay, let's add this in here. They're sacred trees. And so as Turnus and his troops watch the ships burn, the vessels suddenly pull loose of their anchors and submerge. And so completely sink and then rise back up with like a whole bunch of sea nymphs around them, like
heck yeah,
like Barker's beauties like around them.
That's cool.
And this sign from the gods confuses the Latins. They're like,
clearly, what does this mean?
What is this witchcraft? Like some of them just murder themselves immediately.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. But Turnus is like, men, don't panic. That was crazy. That was fucking crazy. But don't panic. I am determined to complete the annihilation of the Trojans. So they decide to just camp out right there. Like,
what's his motivation to murder all the Trojans?
Because the Trojans are an invading force.
Kinda, right?
Well, completely.
Oh, they want to genocide them?
The Trojans want to come in and make their kingdom there. And as the Latins are a dying kingdom at this point, that's why originally Turnus was like, yeah, whatever, marry my daughter.
Similar back then.
Yeah, it really is. It's a death sentence.
Marry my daughter and propagate the kingdoms, merge the kingdoms, and yeah, that'd be great. But then once everything got chaotic due to Juno, then it was time for war instead.
There was no peace after Juno.
There was. So now it's time for a little side story. This is the story of Nissus and Euryalus, or Euryalus. There is no I. So Patrick, you'll be Nissus.
Okay, great.
And Sarah will be Euryalus.
God.
And they are two friends eager for glory and adventure. Nissus and Euryalus, two friends eager for glory and adventure.
I want glory.
I want adventure.
So they volunteer to sneak out in the dark of night. And the Trojan captains applaud the bravery of the two young men.
Shh, we're sneaking. Stop clapping.
So quietly, when they leave the fortress, they find the entire Latin army asleep. They pull their swords out and begin slaughtering many of the great captains. This is a children's show.
1, 2, 3. Severed artery.
When daylight approaches, they make their way back to the woods, but not before Euryalus takes the high helmet of the Latin captain as a prize. And as they approach the forest, a group of enemy horsemen returning to camp through the woods sees the helmet flash in the distance. So all because Euryalus had to be like, have pride and like be like, yeah, I got this helmet, and it's like they see it shining like a beacon. So
seriously.
So they ride towards the two Trojans. Nissus manages to escape into the woods, but
You're welcome.
Bye.
Yeah.
but the horsemen capture Euryalus. Then so they use Euryalus as bait, and so they're like, "Scream for me, Euryalus!"
Oh man.
And Euryalus cries out for Nissus. You're Euryalus, Sarah.
I thought I'm Nissus.
No.
Oh, no, I'm Nissus.
Oh. Ow! They're tickling too hard.
So Nissus hears the cries of his friend, and he rushes back to save his friend.
Oh no.
And he's shot full of arrows and just gets murdered. And then they're like,
Are you okay?
No.
"Looks like your friend couldn't save you." And then they slit his throat in front of him. It's some real Game of Thrones, like
Awesome.
right there.
Yeah.
So the Latins put the heads of both Nissus and Euryalus on spikes,
I still got glory.
and they
We
ride
still have adventure.
and they ride around the fort like so. Like the people inside the fort see like, "Oh, it's Nissus. Oh, it's Euryalus. Oh, it's Nissus. Oh, it's Euryalus. Oh, they're on spikes. They're dead." It's a real cute part of the story.
Oh man.
After demoralizing them with showing them the heads of their friends, the Latins then attack, and they cross the trenches surrounding the Trojan forces, and they try to identify weak spots in the walls. The Trojans are on the walls. They're hurling spears down upon them.
Take that.
Take that.
There's a there's a high tower standing just outside the main gate, and Turnus grabs a torch and he lights that one ablaze. So when this tower collapses, it kills many of the Trojans inside. It's just like big, like Michael Bay is making explosions on the inside. It's getting crazy.
Yeah. This has about the plot of a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Trojans begin to panic within the fortress. But then the Trojan captain Ascanius renews their hope when he's like, "Here, you want to feel better?" And he like takes out his bow and arrow. He's like, "I got an idea." And he gets up on the wall and he's like, "Which one of you's a captain down there? Which one?
Hey, what's up?
You're a captain?
Yeah, I'm the captain.
Eat this arrow." And he shoots an arrow right through that captain's face. That captain's name is Remulus, not Romulus. And so he's dead. And the Trojans are like, "Oh, that made us feel better. Thanks for killing a captain." The Latins then are rushing the gates, and the Trojans are like, "Hey, we're gonna surprise you," and they open the gates. So like they smash the guys like by opening the door really quickly and like smash them against the walls, and they run out to attack. But then Turnus is like, I'm a crazy god of a man," and he like pushes them all back and finds his way inside of the fortress. And then they close the doors because they're like, "Oh shit, they're inside." And then Turnus is like, "I am the king of my army. I'm insane." And he just like murders people left and right inside the fortress before he's finally outnumbered. And he runs up onto the walls and he dives into the moat and swims his way out. And he's like, "Yeah."
I just imagine him as a sky dancer the whole time.
He is. That's how he's depicted often.
Just wildly spinning around, murdering everyone.
with a ripcord pulled by a little girl. Wonderful.
That's amazing.
So after all this insanity, Jupiter finally notices the carnage in Italy. He's like,
Finally.
yeah, he's
Finally.
like, "Oh, my golf's over." And he like turns the channel and he's like, "Oh shit, what's going on down there?" So he had expected the Trojans to settle on Italy peacefully. He was like, "I thought that's what was going to happen." So he's like, "Hey," and he gets out his god triangle and he rings his god triangle. Ding, ding, ding. God.
Oh, I got my god cowbell. We start the band.
No,
Band practice.
I'm calling the God Council.
I got my lyre.
Bo-
I got my
bo-
lyre. I can come and help.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's time for the God Council.
Gods.
Okay, so all the gods show up for this God Council, and
Everyone of them bringing their instruments.
well, yeah, and there's a huge fight between Venus and Juno.
Do they finally like address the situation that's happening?
Yeah, they finally it's like a People's Court segment, and
Yeah.
and Juno is on one side and Venus is on the other, and they hash out everything like this.
Look, Judge, I just think it's really unreasonable for her to get mad that A, he's my son, And B, I am the goddess of beauty.
I hear you.
Yeah, he's gonna give me the fucking apple.
Okay, yeah. All that. Remember that I am the queen of the gods, and I am vengeful by nature.
She's honest about it.
So, angrily, well, Venus blames Juno for the continued suffering of Aeneas and the Trojans, but Juno's response is she's like, I didn't force Aeneas to go to Italy. So she's super petty, and Jupiter is just annoyed by all of this bullshit, and he's like, you know what? Classic Jupiter. I'm not going to help either side. The merits and the efforts of the men need to decide what happens here. You guys have caused enough problem. Go back to your rooms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go back to your rooms.
And Juno and Venus slam the doors. Juno's door says no boys allowed, and Venus's door says all boys can enter. So Aeneas journeys back to the battle because he gets word that, like, oh shit, my men are under attack. But at this point, his army, like, before it had to march because there weren't enough ships, but at this point, this other king, Tarquin of Tuscany,
The
has
narration is wonderful.
provided Aeneas with a fleet of ships and many great warriors as well. So they speed on the sea, and the nymphs that help them raise their ships out of the water are also like, we'll help you go faster. And so they're like swimming alongside and like making their ships go faster.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't like go to the god meeting where it was like, no one interfere, please. And the nymphs are like, we're still going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, a gig's a gig.
A gig's a gig.
So they reach the beach near the battlefield shortly after dawn, and Turnus spots the ship approaching and leads his troops towards the beach to confront them. Remember, Aeneas is there with Prince Pallas, and
Oh, don't let me get hurt. I have such a pretty face. I'd like to keep it that way.
You should have learned your stuff, right?
But all you taught me was kissing.
That's all you wanted to learn.
so Aeneas jumps off the ship after this argument with Pallas and starts cutting down several of Turnus's men. Prince Pallas then leads the Arcadians, and he fights incredibly fiercely despite his lack of training, and he tips the scale in the favor of the Trojans. This angelic boy man fighting on the battlefield gets King Turnus's attention. And so,
beautiful youths often do.
Yeah, he's like, who is that beautiful youth? He will die at my hands. And so Turnus swaggers forth.
Love it.
And he challenges Pallas to battle him in one of those battle circles where everyone's banging the shields. And
I just imagine Troy, like the movie Troy. What a great movie.
Yeah.
Was it?
I loved it.
Wow.
I did.
What a little curl of the throat there.
So you want to fight me?
Yeah, I'm going to murder you. And they both...
Would that make you feel good? I'm 13.
Well, let's have a kiss first.
Okay.
And so they do a little peck, and then they face each other across from this circle, and they just start throwing spears at each other.
Take it.
Pallas's weapon penetrates both Turnus's shield and armor, but it leaves only a flesh wound. 'Tis only a flesh wound on Turnus. Turnus, however, has a giant lance and probably an arm that's the size of Pallas's torso. And so the other one's skinny though. You know what Turnus is up to. And he just chucks this.
Just a ton of masturbation.
Yeah. He just chucks this spear at Pallas, and it goes right through Pallas's armor, lodges deep in his chest, and murders him immediately. Then, sleep now. And he gouges out his eyes. But he walks over really prideful and arrogantly. He steps on Pallas's face and pulls out the spear out of his chest. And then he's like, I like that belt too. It's like a glittery belt with like a fairy. It's really not. It's just the voice you give him. He's so magical. But he pulls Pallas's belt off,
Oh,
and he
no.
puts it on. He's like, "This is mine now. It accentuates my sensible heels." And that becomes a thing. So now, from now on, whenever you see Turnus in your mind's eye, he's wearing Prince
glittery.
Pallas's belt.
Glittery belt with a fairy on it.
Just that infatuation is just epitomized by that moment right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This belt, that's amazing.
Word of Pallas's death reaches Aeneas, and he's just like, "No, no, no, no!" he told the king that he would protect his son, and he did not. So he hacks a bloody path through the Latin lines, looking for Turnus, bent on vengeance. He was like, "I need revenge."
I won't get paid for babysitting now.
Some of the Latin soldiers even beg on their knees to be spared, but Aeneas slaughters them mercilessly anyway. So, hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
At
of
this,
course he's a hero. He ran away from a battle in the last story.
Mhm.
You know, the Trojan War.
he left because, okay, Patrick, he left because a sea serpent came out of the ocean and murdered 2 little boys in front of him. Like, he was like, "I'm shell-shocked by this. That is a terrible omen." And
What is he has the weirdest priorities.
so Turnus's troops are falling into chaos, and back on Olympus, Juno sees that the battle is lost, and she's like, oh crap. Hey, Jupiter, honey boo.
God damn it, woman. I'm watching The Good Place.
Okay, I love that show too.
That's a great show.
It's wonderful. But hey, can you spare Turnus from death? It would be so not epic for him to die here.
No. What? Not epic.
Imagine if one of your favorite characters on The Good Place didn't received Cheaty?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine if something really incredible happens to him that
Yeah.
changes the whole dynamic of the show.
Oh, it'd be great.
But it happens in the middle of the season as opposed to the end of the season. You'd feel a little bit like this arc didn't really take long enough time to develop.
Well, to be fair, it's an ensemble piece, so if
Just go with me here.
No,
Let me save
goddammit,
Turnus. So Jupiter says, "Fine, you can save Turnus." So Juno flies down to the battlefield herself and creates a phantom of Aeneas within the vision of Turnus. And she makes that phantom run to one of the ships anchored nearby, and so that Turnus will follow him. And then as soon as he boards the ship, Juno severs the ties of the ship to the coastline so that the ship starts going away. It's just just to get him away.
He
from
just
everything.
he just runs away from every battle, clearly. This is just not
He didn't. I mean, Turnus didn't mean to run away.
Oh no, Turnus is a different hoe. He's a bad guy.
Who's the one that with the serpent thing?
Aeneas,
Aeneas.
Got it.
our hero.
Got it, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
I mean, he would believe that he would run from battlefield to the ship because of his past history. So it's really a clever ruse by Juno here.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Turnus is gone, the great Latin warrior Mezentius takes up the fight, and he slays many brave Trojans, of course, but loses heart when he watches Aeneas take down his son Lausus right in front of him. He's just like, "Oh, sorry, was that your son? Yeah, he's dead now."
Oh, God.
And he just drinks blood out of his skull.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas.
It's a fantasy.
He confronts the Trojan hero and casts he has got a bucket of spears next to him. He's just like, "Take this one, take that one, take that one." But the shield forged by Vulcan holds strong. He's just blocking it with future history. Used Caesar to block that one. In the end, Aeneas cuts down Mezentius, and that is defeat. That final blow is yeah, and we have won the battle here. So a whole bunch of Latins are dead. The day after the battle, Aeneas looks at the body of Pallas just sitting there. He's just like, "Man, his outfit just doesn't go together now. That belt isn't there. Also, that spear looks stupid in his chest."
Mm-hmm.
He arranges for 1,000 men
What? This already seems too much.
to escort the prince's corpse
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's
It
an
is.
escort
Yep.
thing. That's
to
overkill,
King
don't you think?
Evander.
You see, this is bullshit. You're just causing traffic.
Yeah.
They take the 405.
Oh no.
And he joins the king in mourning. And when Evander hears of his son's death, he's really sad. But because Pallas died honorably in battle, he forgives Aeneas and
Yes.
wishes only for the death of
It's
Turnus.
pretty cool.
Here's your babysitting money anyway.
4,000 people worth.
4,000.
So back at camp, messengers arrive from the Latins, and they request a 12-day truce so that they can bury their dead.
Great.
And Aeneas agrees, and everyone's like, wow, Aeneas isn't that bad of a guy. I mean, he murdered all of our friends, but
But at least he gave us 12 days to just bury our people.
that's nice. But after 12 days, I'm coming for the rest
We're
of you.
going to be back at it.
During those 12 days, in the with the Latins, they have a council, and the king confesses that he doesn't think that they can win, and he proposes the offering some territory to the Trojans in exchange for peace. And a man named Drances blames the whole war on Turnus's arrogance, and the council begins to turn on Turnus.
Ooh.
The turn on Turnus.
Oh, jeez.
The turn on Turnus.
Turnus then turns around. He's like, "Yeah," and he like literally calls into question the manhood of this man Drances, and he's like, I question your manhood." I don't know what he says. He just questions his manhood. The whole council suggests, hey, maybe you should just fight Aeneas alone for the hand of Lavinia, and maybe then things will be better.
That's his daughter, though.
Oh, no. So there's two kings here. And I just realized as I was talking about this that might be confusing.
Okay.
There's King Turnus, who is promised the hand of Lavinia, and King Latinus, who's the father of Lavinia. Who,
Okay.
But they're together. They're the Latins together.
Oh,
Oh.
got it.
Yeah.
See, yeah. Okay, that now makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for those listening at home who might have been like, what are you talking about? But
They're pissed.
There
they're-
are two kings
We
under the
lost him.
Latin name.
yes.
Got it.
So just at that moment, a messenger arrives to warn the Latins that the Trojans are marching towards the city. And the Latins are like, oh shit, they're coming, they're bringing the fight here. Our 12 days are up. They look at their like 12-day watch and they're like, yeah. And they're in the middle of panic when a woman's voice rises up.
Toodaloo!
And it is Camilla, and she is Bae.
Hello, I'm Camilla.
She is the famous leader of the Volscians, a race of warrior maidens.
Ooh.
But I'm also really hot, probably.
Yeah, probably. She has one breast out.
Wait, really?
Mhm.
Sexy.
Hey, it's. Do you remember when little Kim was at the VMAs? It's that sort of thing.
Yeah, she's got a
The
tiny
nipples
plate
covered, yeah.
shield on her nipple.
A little.
Can block any arrow.
Yes.
It's fantasy armor mechanics here. The less she wears, the more she's protected. About Camilla, Virgil says that Camilla was so fast on her feet that she could run over a field of wheat without breaking the tops of the plants, or over the ocean without wetting her feet. So
Isn't that stupid?
Camilla is the daughter of King Metabus. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Yep. I don't even want to make the joke.
It's spelled Metabus.
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 What else do you do today?
Well, he got killed by being hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Well, he was driven from his throne by an uprising and was chased into the wilderness by armed men and his infant daughter in his hands. And he came across a river, the river Amasenus, and he was fearing for his child's welfare. And all he had was infant daughter in one hand, a spear in the other hand.
Awesome.
And he's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. He ties his daughter to the spear, infant, and he's like, this is just so crazy, it might work. But
Throw my
first,
daughter across the river?
First, I'm going to pray to Diana. And when Diana is Artemis. And he says, Diana, if you keep my daughter safe, I will... she'll be your servant throughout her entire life. I'm not going to give up my life to your servitude, but this baby that I'm trying to throw across the river with a spear, keep her safe and she'll be your servant. And so he throws her to the other side, and miraculously the spear like lands in a tree, and the baby's just like dangling there safely, giggling on the other side.
Yeah, it's a Looney Tune again.
Yeah. And then he swims across to retrieve her, and he's like, "Oh, thank you for listening to my call, Diana." And Diana was probably like, "What?"
Huh?
yeah. I did shit. What'd you ask?
They lived in the woods for a little bit, and baby Camilla was suckled by a mare, as many great heroes are. They're suckled by animals rather than
Oh my god,
humans.
this is when it's just a single dad. He doesn't know what he's doing, does he? They didn't write a book.
And then once her, quote, first firm steps were taken, her small hands were armed with a javelin, and she was given a bow and quiver to wear. Again,
Damn.
Single dad.
Single
Yeah.
dads.
No kidding.
She was raised in her childhood to be a huntress, and she kept companionship of her father and the shepherds in the hills and the woods. So that's her
Do you know what that
backstory.
means?
What?
Kept companionship.
She was a virgin.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. I was worried for a
Usually.
second there.
I mean, as a servant to Diana, she had to be a virgin.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so Turnus hears from a spy that Aeneas has divided his army. There's horses that are galloping towards the city, while Aeneas and his heavily armed captains are taking a slower path through a mountain pass. And so Turnus is like, I'm going to go get a trap, set a trap for the Trojan leader. And Camilla, you look tough.
Yeah, I'm very tough.
I mean, I'm only looking at your
Stop.
boob right now.
And my eyes are up here.
Sorry.
My eyes are up here. My tits are down there.
Sorry. Yeah, I know.
And my vagina's white out.
Oh, I didn't even notice that yet. Wow. And so he leaves Camilla in charge of the city.
Yeah, I could do that. I grew up in a forest, but I could do that.
Soon so when the Trojans reach the field in front of the city, the battle begins. Camilla just opens
I've lowered taxes. I'm the mayor now, right?
Camilla has opened the gates of the city, and she's just standing in front with like the doors wide open, and she's just like, anyone who wants to come pass.
Oh, baller.
Aeneas's troops are like, yeah, whatever, it's just a woman with her boobie out. And so they start running, and this is a direct passage from the story of what Camilla does. Eunaeus, son of Clydius, was first. When he stood face to face with her, she drove the long pine shaft of her spear through his unprotected chest. He vomited rivers of blood and champed the gory earth with his teeth, twisting himself round his wound while he died. Then
Whoa.
she brought down Lyris and Pegasus on top of him.
No.
What?
Not Pegasus the horse.
Oh.
Pegasus. Pagasus.
Oh, you almost got me to turn this show off permanently.
Lyris, when he was trying to collect the reins after his wounded horse had reared and thrown him. Pegasus, when he came and stretched out an undefined right hand to support Lyris. As he fell, they both went flying head over heels. Then she sent Amastris, the son of Hippotas, to join them, and raced after Tereus and Harpoclus, Demophon and Chromis, pressing them hard at even long range with her spear. For every dart that the maiden flew from her hand, a Trojan fell.
Wow, this is some straight up Tarantino choreography.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She murdered so many people. She killed so many soldiers that until a warrior named Aruns caught her off guard. Before throwing his javelin, he said, okay, I'm about to throw this javelin at this beautiful woman who's murdering all of these guys. I don't want to die right here. I just need her to stop killing my friends. Apollo, do you hear me?
Hey.
Hey, I just,
What's up, you creepy motherfucker?
hey, I need to like kill an
You want
awesome.
to kill someone?
I want to kill this awesome woman.
Oh, that's my shit right there.
Will you promise?
What'd
that-
she do? She doesn't want to fuck you? We'll kill her.
I mean, she does. She looks like
She-
she wants to fuck me up.
She,
but,
but she won't blow you. She said you want her to die. I get it.
if
I've done it.
if it gets your blessing,
do it again.
sure, yeah,
Now.
okay. But if I kill her, will you promise that I'll make it home alive?
No, bitch, but I'll kill her.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, my man.
So after that exchange, Aaron's throws his javelin at Camilla and does catch her off guard and kills her.
Oh, snap.
And
Wow.
right after that happens, Diana is pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, "Wait, that was Camilla. Camilla is bae. I have announced it since she was thrown by her father across the river."
Look, sis, she wouldn't blow a guy. You do your thing, but I'm gonna do mine. And if we meet in the middle,
Hey, come here.
what's up?
You got a little something
You trying to blow me?
right there. She kicks him in his god nuts. She then sends down her Nereid Opus down, and she's like, "Hey, Opus,
Yep.
this is my Opus. I need you to murder that guy, Aaron."
Okay.
And so
That breaks the bro code. That breaks the bro code.
hoes before bros. And Diana sends down Opus, and Opus just like arrives. Just a Nereid floats down right after Aaron's is like, "Yeah, I killed her." Then a Nereid comes down with a bow and arrow and is like, "Hey, this is what the boss wants," and just like he eats an arrow, and he's dead too.
All right.
So that's the story of Camilla.
Oh, so unfortunate.
With she gets a good moment.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's badass though.
Yeah. With Camilla dead, the Latin troops scatter and many are killed as they flee back to their city. Meanwhile, Camilla's companion Akka, she goes off to inform Turnus that the Latins lack a leader. And so Turnus is forced to turn around and go back to the city just as Aeneas passes by the place that he would have ambushed. So saved by the bell. Then they both return to their respective armies and make camp as night falls. The story is just about to come to its stirring conclusion.
Oh God.
Oh boy. So this is what happens. Juno is worried that this is going to end up with a one-on-one confrontation with Turnus and Aeneas, because that seems to be where everything's pointed to. And she knows that Aeneas outmatches her boy Turnus. So she gets on the phone and she's like, "Ring, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, are you Turnus' sister Juturna?"
Yes, I am.
Listen, you need to cut out the smoking.
I'm down to a pack a day.
Can you watch out for your brother's safety?
What do you want me to do?
Just there's gonna be a duel, and if you can just like do anything you can to make sure that the duel doesn't happen, just be crazy.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got this down pat.
So the next day when the armies meet each other, everyone's just like, duel.
Nope. Hey, you guys want to see a card trick?
Juturna, perhaps because she does have such a gruff voice, easily disguises herself as a man, as a noble officer named Cammers, and she.
Hello, I'm Cammers.
Why'd she use that voice? She could have just used her own. And she goads the Latins to break the treaty and fight now that the Trojans are off guard. So Turnus's troops begin to agree, and suddenly one of them hurls a spear at the Trojans' ranks.
Stop
and
it.
kills a young soldier. They
Not
all
another young hot one.
a young hot soldier, just a day player. And Aeneas calls for his men to stop, but as he yells, a stray arrow wounds him in the leg and forces Aeneas to retreat. So this is that belly of the beast moment. You know, we got Aeneas is injured and he has to go back to his tent and nurse his wounds. When he goes back to the Trojan side, he's trying to be healed, but the physician's like, I can't remove the arrow. It's too Latin. And
It's all Greek to me.
and Venus pities her suffering son, of course, and she comes down and delivers a healing balm from the gods, which dislodges the arrow.
It's
and closes the wound.
homeopathic.
Would someone help my mom? She's carrying so much crap
Come on,
again.
I went to the Rite Aid. I wanted to get you all this stuff. My hands are full.
Okay, does anyone want these Costco muffins? My mom always gets these.
You used to like them.
So Aeneas then takes up arms again and gives his mom a kiss on the cheek and returns to battle.
It's wet.
So they return. They don't have a direct duel this time because as soon as they arrived, everyone's so incensed from that first duel going wrong that they just battle towards each other. It's that big final battle scene moment where they're fighting towards each other, locking eyes across the battlefield. We did this before with Achilles and Penthesilea, except they're not going to fall in love that we know of. Suddenly, Aeneas realizes that Latinus' city has been left unguarded. So he gathers a group of soldiers and attacks the city, panicking the citizens. Queen Amata, who you might remember from our last episode, who was incensed by Alecto to start this war to begin with, sees this happening, panics, and does what, Sarah?
Oh, kills herself.
She sure does. She gets
How did you know?
That's what a lady does.
she loses all hope and hangs herself with her bed linens.
This is crazy.
Oh, with her bed linens.
Uh-huh.
It's very appropriate.
She was in the middle of making her bed and she was like, make my bed or
Oh, she's trying to
kill myself.
fold the fitted sheet. I've done the same thing.
Got her so crazy and incensed. She killed herself.
Yeah.
Turnus doesn't want the people to suffer any longer, and he's like, wait. Okay.
Oh my God, is this going to end like the 4th Twilight movie?
He's like, this is what would happen if we battled to the death. Sarah and I watched that movie together.
It was terrible.
I've never seen it, guys.
Oh, you got it.
I've only seen the last one in the series, and I recommend watching it that way because it's awful. So Turnus calls for the siege to end and wants Aeneas to emerge and fight him hand to hand. I want no weapons, a good clean fight. Aeneas, come here. Let's fight.
Wait, so it's that hands game where one set of
Yeah, it's
hands
the slap-
hovers over the
The
other?
slap hand game.
Yeah.
Hand to hand.
Yeah.
So all the troops circle around. People bang their shields. People are like, duel. And Aeneas and Turnus toss their spears. So they're like hand to hand. All right.
Literally.
I'm going to toss a spear at you. They toss their spears just to like show that they can. And then they start exchanging fierce blows with their swords. So not hand to hand, I guess.
Clearly
Maybe a
not.
different definition of hand to hand back then.
Maybe.
Weapon to weapon. Oh, just a regular
No
duel.
trebuchet.
Yeah.
At
That'd be
Turnus's first strike, his sword suddenly breaks off at the hilt, like a la Michelle Yeoh versus Zhang Ziyi in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
So good.
What a reference. But yeah, his Aeneas' sword is Green Destiny. It is better than all the other swords. He had so Turnus starts to flee from Aeneas, and he reaches for another sword, which Juturna, who's his sister, grab, like she hands him one.
Here you go.
Thanks. Wait,
Here you go.
no, I know it's you.
Here you go.
I can see the cloud of smoke you're standing in.
Well, get to it, buddy.
Juno observes this action from above, and Jupiter walks over and puts his hand on her shoulder, and he's just like, Juno, why are you watching this?
It's the only thing that's good on. The Good Place is on hiatus still.
You
in
know
January.
You know what's going to happen. You've been watching the same show for years. Like, maybe just let this one go. Just let this one go.
Okay, if I let this go, will you never cheat on me again?
Boy, you look pretty today. So Juno finally gives in and consents to abandon her grudge against Aeneas.
Wow. At the last minute.
She's a twat.
On-
So many people died.
On one condition.
Oh.
She wants the victorious Trojans to take on the name and the language of the Latins. And Jupiter's like,
Fuck that.
Of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the story of how the Latins came to be.
Oh, good God.
Okay.
Well, okay. It's like, just,
But it's like, yeah, no skin off my back.
yeah,
Whatever.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to need cheating on you back on the table for that one, babe.
Jupiter wants to just make sure then that this actually does turn out, because if it doesn't, then he's like, then I'll have Venus mad at me, and I don't know. So he like goes back to the Furies room, and he's like, Furies, which one's free this time? Last time one of you was braiding your hair and the other one was braiding your butt.
I'm braiding my butt.
And I'm braiding my hair.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay. Tisiphone, you're up.
Okay.
And one of the Furies isn't actually named here. It literally just says he sends one of the Furies. But last time Alecto got to go, and I like Tisiphone, so it's Tisiphone's turn.
Fine.
Megara, you have to stay here forever. You have to go be not Hercules' girlfriend.
Okay.
So Tisiphone assumes the form of a bird and flaps down and shrieks right in front of Turnus in the middle of his fight, which fills him with terror and weakens him, because that would be scary.
Wait, so they're not even gonna reach a truce? Hare's just like, okay, murder this guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
She's a horrible person.
Really? Seriously?
Good Lord.
Well, she's not a person, though. She's a god, isn't she?
A horrible god person.
But yeah, then so right as that happened, Aeneas takes his spear and strikes Turnus's leg, which makes Turnus tumble to the ground. Aeneas advances, and Turnus pleads for mercy. Please, Aeneas, for the sake of my father, please don't let me die. My dad will just be so sad if I die. I'm a great son. I celebrate Father's Day. I read him poetry.
Well, if he reads some poetry.
Aeneas
Good point.
is moved, but just as he decides to let Turnus live, he catches the glint of that sparkly Prince Palace belt that he is still wearing.
No.
And Aeneas, it's tied around Turnus's shoulder because Pallas was a little youth and Turnus has deltoids of a god. And so Aeneas remembers the slain youth. His rage returns in a surge, and he's like, Evander had to deal with you killing his son, so I'm gonna kill you too. And then he just drives his sword into Turnus and murders him.
Whoa.
And that's how the Aeneid ends.
That's the end?
Jesus.
The end of it is
Christ.
like the last lines. I don't have the book with me right now, but it's I believe the last lines are just like, and Turnus's soul moaned as it was dragged down to the underworld. Like it's like basically that. And that's how the Aeneid ends. With the promise of there's no afterward, but if there was an afterward, and it's like, and yeah, he marries Lavinia and they form a city there.
Yeah.
The end.
Cool.
Do you feel enriched from having listened to the entire Aeneid now?
No, I think the Aeneid's trash.
What? Oh no, I like the Aeneid.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, of the Iliad, the Odyssey, and the Aeneid, I like the Aeneid the best. I think it's full of the most colorful imagery and language.
I mean, I like the cave scene.
The cave scene, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but even just like I've read you a couple passages from it. Like the passages are pretty. Like that Camilla scene was nice and gory and full of the choreography.
I guess I'm just not that. The structure of it wasn't very exciting.
Yeah, well, and that's what's interesting is just in storytelling in general is that we have Homer who is telling his work, which was structured in a very primitive. Like people were figuring out how to chronicle and tell stories in a way that made sense to them, and not everything had like 3x structure.
Yeah.
I have notes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Everybody, we have two incredible, iconic things here. Okay. Number one is this beautiful shield. Okay. Gorgeous. It's dense. You're going to love it. Do you see this?
Yes,
Isn't it incredible?
Yes, Eurysses, and that's why you love adventure. I love glory, and I think it would be glorious if we made these affordable with only 10 1995 installments. Oh,
It looks like we have a caller.
Hey, it's Diomedes.
Hi.
I was just looking for that shield you got there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, my favorite thing about it is that it sort of tells the future. I love that it's got a picture of Cleopatra on it. I don't even know who that is, but she looks dope.
great eyeliner, huh?
Yeah. She's only in profile, but that's how she gets drawn.
You don't need to see the full of her.
Yeah.
You
You
don't.
see a whole face. It fucks up the place.
How many people do I need to murder for that to be mine?
At least 45, but we're saying 45.
Okay.
45.
Yeah.
I've sort of like become a king of another place, and I don't really murder that much anymore. Can
That's
I just
okay.
like give you some gold bars?
Yeah, you could give us some gold bars.
Are they chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we have a pigeon in here. Get.
I think
All right.
that's another
Someone
caller.
pick up the pigeon.
Hey, this is Akka. I'm yeah, I get that a lot. I'm Camilla's friend. I was wondering if you could not sell her nipple plate. It's her mom gave it to her as Can I just have it back?
Never.
Never.
Do you want to buy it?
I'm actually wearing it.
I see that.
Ting,
It's
ting,
weird
ting,
that
ting.
you're modeling it.
Yeah.
It just because you picked it off of her corpse,
Yeah, it's fine.
and I would just want it back for sentimental reasons.
That's you think it's weird I'm wearing it. I think it's weird you want a nipple plate for sentimental reasons. All right. That's enough of that.
All right. Well, Patrick, it was so nice having you on
This was
today's
just
episode.
lovely to hear the ending of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Could
What a
you
story.
imagine the movie of this in your mind?
Oh, dude. I can imagine parts of it. Other parts were complicated.
I wouldn't like it.
I started watching last
It would be
night
Troy.
the Troy, the Siege of a City, the
the
Netflix show. Yeah.
Is it good?
It's
Oh,
weird.
but don't worry, listeners that really, really enjoyed it. Paul's very hard to impress.
What? Okay, so the things that I enjoyed about it is just that generally being versed in Greek mythology and then watching anything that has to do with Greek mythology, you have that same feeling of like, oh, cool, they're including that part, or oh wow, they're really doing that, or ooh, this is how they decided to show or cast Athena and Hera and Aphrodite, who I thought it was gonna just be a political intrigue show. I didn't know that it was going to they were even gonna include the gods, because like the movie Troy, I don't remember them including any
They
god.
didn't.
Yeah.
No, none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was neat to see them do that. They definitely they killed Iphigenia, and they didn't have Artemis save her last minute. So I was like, okay, that's your take.
She had to go.
She had to go. Well, great. If people want to listen and look at and watch you and your career and smell you, Patrick, what will they have to do?
You can go onto YouTube and look up Crypt TV. I'm on Sunny Family Cult on Crypt TV. I'm the main villain on that.
He's bad.
I'm a bad guy.
You're a bad boy.
I've died, but then there's the idea is that I'm going to come back to life because the end of the season 3.
Wait, did you?
Wait, whoa.
Did you just spoil?
No, I
Get out of
didn't.
your
I'm not
show.
saying I am or I'm not. I'm saying that there is a hand twitch at the end of season 3 of my hand.
That's 3 seasons worth. Just tell them we're gonna watch you.
I always do this. I always spoil everything in sentences. It's literally a matter of sentences.
Yeah, you sure did.
Oh, come on.
Okay, and where do you want them to find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter. You can look me up. Patrick Boy, PATTERICKBOY. That's my handle.
Okay.
I post funny things.
Yeah, I found you on Instagram and you haven't posted since like 2016.
That was something I just changed the handle to.
Oh,
It
yeah?
actually was a project that I made way back in the day. It was a new media adaptation of the novel Flowers for Algernon.
Oh.
And so that's where all those pictures were. And then I linked that to a Twitter account. And then I did vlogs on top of that. So it was just a full, all-encompassing visual, text, and, movie, TV, YouTube videos.
That's
Spoiler
based off of your
alert.
real life, right? Because you got really smart and then you got really dumb again. Yeah.
Yeah. Nailed it.
And this is him now. All right. Well, if you want to follow us, you can visit us at _myth_understood. That is on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow little Paul Bianchi, our
Little
fearless
Paul
leader,
Bianchi.
at the Paul Bianchi on Instagram, not Twitter.
Yes.
And you can find me at the Sarah Oliver on Instagram and Twitter.
Feel free to talk to us on these social media venues. Also,
Yeah.
it's nice to hear nice things and weird to hear sexy things.
But we really, really appreciate it when you guys review us on Apple iTunes, guys. It makes everyone that is looking for an educational comedy podcast such as us, it makes us easier to find when you leave a review. It just does. We pop up quicker.
Now and forever, we are part of the Dragon Wagon Radio podcast network.
We recently got married.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to follow at It's Dragon Wagon on Instagram and Twitter. And, it's the day after Christmas, but, you can still visit the shop and check out t-shirt designs and different merchandise that, man, maybe since I have time during the holidays, I might actually come up with more artwork.
No.
Yes.
No, you won't.
I'll try.
He won't.
Okay.
He will.
Also,
I believe in you,
show
Paul.
your support for Dragon Wagon Radio, which is an independent podcast network, at dragonwagonradio.com/support. Support.
Well, happy holidays, guys. Happy everything, even if it's just time off from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
that.
especially that.
All right, cutie pies. We'll see you. We'll see you never. We're a podcast. Bye.
Bye. Sarah, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to tell you one more myth.
I have no more time.
2 handsome gentlemen entered the room.
Oh, now I'm listening.
Wait, who? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you two.
Us?
Who are you?
I'm Mark. I'm Chad, and we have a podcast called The Hell With This.
That sounds amazing. We mostly talk about Hades.
Well, mainly we're talking about modern myths. We're talking about movies. You know how you've got your favorite movie that your friends have never heard of? You're nostalgic about it. Maybe it's really bad, but you love it anyway. Your best friend has never seen it, despite you telling him to watch it 1,000,000 times. Between Chad and I, we've got a lot of those.
Yeah, basically it's a podcast about reaching that point where you just say, you know what, the hell with this. We're watching that damn movie finally, and you're just going to have to sit and talk to me about it.
So where can I find this movie talking podcast?
You can listen to us at thehellwiththis.com or wherever podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.